Yeah, we have someone down underneath the camera. Green-line person.
Yeah, pulling up. She had one shoot to her chest.
You said one to the head?
Chest.
She shot in the chest.
Yeah! Yeah! Oh my God! Oh my God!
And that was the snippet of it
That
there.
witness says the tension started over a man.
They went to my neighbor's house, banging, kicking on the door, saying, "Come outside, we want to fight, we want to fight."
Those arguments then escalated into the streets.
It's all over nothing, over a boy. It didn't have to turn out this way.
Shyikima Turner, affectionately known as Kima to her family and friends, was a vibrant 26-year-old mother of two, a young daughter and son who meant the world to her. She was fiercely devoted to her children, doing everything in her power to make sure they never went without. Her love was limitless, and her role as a mother was one she wore with pride. Shyikima was full of life, the kind of person whose energy lit up every room she walked into. No matter what she might have been going through privately, her spirit remained infectious. In every video, in every memory, you see her laughing, dancing, and bringing smiles to the faces around her. Her joy was magnetic, her presence unforgettable. She was known for her generous heart, always willing to give, even when she had little herself. A true sweetheart with a goofy, lovable personality, Shyikima had a natural ability to lift spirits. Her sense of humor was endearingly corny, but it made her even more cherished. She'd dance, sing, and make a scene in the best way, never afraid to be herself, no matter who was watching. Above all, Shyikima was strong. She had no problem standing up for herself and was respected for her ability to handle her own. She lived boldly, loved deeply, and laughed loudly. At the time, everything in her life seemed to be falling into place. Things were looking up, but tragically she had no idea that a devastating chain of events was about to unfold, one that would forever alter the course of her life and the lives of those who loved her. Just before 6 in the evening on March 18th, Baltimore police were dispatched to the 700 block of East Preston Street, following reports of a shooting. When officers arrived on the scene, they were met with chaos and confusion. Amid the disorder, they discovered an unresponsive adult female lying on the pavement, marking the tragic aftermath of the violence that had just unfolded.
This fatal shooting happened near the corner of East Preston and Greenmount Avenue in the Johnston Square neighborhood in the city's Central Police District.
The victim was identified as 31-year-old Shyikima Turner, who was rushed to a local hospital where she was sadly pronounced dead after succumbing to a gunshot wound to her upper body. The disturbing incident caught on video shows a woman armed with a gun chasing Shyikima down the street. In the footage, the suspect is seen grabbing her purse before pursuing Shyikima and opening fire. Witnesses at the scene reported that bystanders did not intervene. Instead, some can be heard in the background cheering the alleged shooter on as the situation escalated. Moments later, gunshots ring out. According to one witness, the scene quickly devolved into chaos, all of it over a boy. Prior to the shooting, tensions had already begun to rise. Neighbors reported hearing people banging on doors and demanding a fight, with arguments spilling out onto the street before turning violent. Law enforcement later confirmed that the shooting occurred during the course of an altercation. Shyikima and the suspect reportedly have a history of ongoing issues, including incidents where Shyikima threw rocks at the suspect's car window and house, flattened her tires, and repeatedly went to her home, starting arguments with different family members. According to official court documents, 26-year-old Unique Thorne admitted to fatally shooting Shyikima during her interview with detectives on the same day the incident occurred. Investigators reported that Thorne stated she retrieved a firearm from inside her residence after being injured, slashed in the back with a knife during a third confrontation involving a group of individuals, including Shyikima. The group had reportedly come to her home to confront her sister-in-law, which led to escalating tensions and ultimately violence. The following day, investigators reviewed autopsy results, along with the widely circulated video that captured the fatal shooting. After analyzing the footage, authorities determined that the events recorded on video did not align with the account Thorne provided during her interview. As a result, a warrant for her arrest was issued immediately. However, by the time the warrant was in place, Thorne had already been released after her initial questioning. Investigators later learned she had fled the state, traveling several hundred miles to Ohio.
Baltimore police say that they are looking for the suspect who gunned down a 31-year-old woman in the middle of the street in Johnson Square.
In the social media post that's since gone viral, it states a fight between a group of women led up to the shooting. BPD has not confirmed that information. In the video, you see an armed person running down the sidewalk and then firing towards another person who then collapses in the street.
Unique Thorne was located and arrested there by local authorities and held in custody pending her extradition back to Baltimore. In response to questions about her initial release, officials explained that based on the evidence available immediately following the incident, including witness statements, physical evidence, and limited video footage, there was not enough to support formal charges at that time. As the investigation continued and additional evidence came to light, authorities were able to move forward with filing charges. Ultimately, the case would come to represent a tragic and senseless loss of life, sparked by a dispute centered around a man. While he remains free, 2 lives have been irreversibly changed, one taken, the other bound to a future shaped by the weight of her actions. In the end, the question remains whether any of it was worth it, but now it's far too late to change the outcome.
Murder suspect Unique Thorne appeared before a Baltimore City District Court judge by video almost 1 month to the day. Investigators say she fatally shot 26-year-old Shyikima Turner in a shocking and brazen daytime shooting that was captured on cell phone video. Now, newly obtained court documents are revealing new details about the case and questions about the investigation. According to the statement of charges, Thorne admitted she shot Turner during her interview with detectives on March 18th, the same day as the fatal shooting. Investigators say Thorne told them she went and got her gun from inside her house here on East Preston Street after she was slashed in the back with a knife during a third encounter of the day with a group of individuals, including Turner, who had arrived to their home to fight her sister-in-law. Here, the next day, investigators noted autopsy results and this viral video that captured the fatal shooting, writing, "The events depicted on the video are inconsistent with what Ms. Thorne stated to police during her interview." This warrant was issued for Thorne's arrest March 19th, but by that time, Thorne had already been released following her interview and fled hundreds of miles away. So why was Thorne released after her initial questioning? We asked BPD. A spokesperson wrote in part, "Based on the facts obtained at that time, there was insufficient evidence to support charges. However, as the investigation progressed and additional evidence was obtained, detectives were able to gather sufficient evidence to file charges." Law enforcement expert Jason Johnson weighing in.
It's not something that happens often, but I will say that, there are situations, even when a person admits to a shooting, for example, if there is some strong indication that it may have been done in self-defense, that there are situations where the police department will not by itself decide to charge someone, but rather will consult with the state's attorney's office to make a final decision.
26-year-old Unique Thorne was extradited to Baltimore and charged with first-degree murder in connection with the fatal shooting of 31-year-old Shyikima Turner. Court records indicate that Thorne was denied bond and remains in custody pending a preliminary hearing set for May 15th. The case highlights the strength of cross-agency collaboration, especially between local law enforcement and the U.S. Marshals Service, in bolstering public safety. Baltimore officials have noted promising progress in the city's ongoing crime reduction initiatives. Rest in peace, Shyikima Turner.